What's your ideal? So if you could sort of design your ideal community, how do you think that would look? If you just could do whatever you like to see the community sort of be as you think it should be, not from a dictatorial point of view, but from just from an idealistic point of view.
Oh, come on. An ideal community here in the city centre. My mind goes a little bit to, I would like to see a greater integration between sort of the business and the residential community. I think it's there by dint of the fact that residents are out there buying all the time. And I know that Heart of the City, for example, the main business association, and K Road as well, are cognizant and aware and supportive of residential activity. A greater connection there. I'd like to see the community centre really kick on, and from my point of view, have a greater focus on the local community. It's a great space, and it just needs a bit more sort of lower scale community activity in there, which I given them their due, it's tricky. They've been trying. I would, a lot of us would like to see a school. There's this constant sort of flow out of young families, which when you don't have a full cross sector of people living in a neighbourhood, you kind of lose a bit in that. We're lucky we've got a soon-to-be 5-year-old on Tuesday, I think, and probably a 1-year-old living across the hallway from us, and so we get that kid kind of contact, which is lovely. But we don't see much of that, and I think indicators of neighbourhoods that are welcoming of families, and are safe for women, are going to be communities and spaces that work well. I've long been an advocate of one, at least, piece of play equipment in any open space. I think Freiburg Square missed the opportunity of sticking a slide in. Perfect fall, and it would be a fall for some people late at night for sure, but that's why we have ACC, I believe.
True. That's what they deal with. I think those are really good points. Like I often think of community as having, for me, it's like having events to attend where you can go to en masse with your friends or meet people there or whatever. It's about having those open spaces that are like parks and things like that. And I agree about playgrounds. Playgrounds are fantastic. And I think there's part of the city, especially around that central like Queen Street area, where there's a bit of a lack of those public spaces. So it's kind of, if they had a few more breakout areas, in and around that area, it might help. But you tend to have to go either up or down to the viaduct to find those areas. I think the safety thing's a big one because inner city residents have suffered in the last couple of years with an increase in crime, and it sounds like that's starting to come right now as more and more people come back into the CBD. But if there's events to go to keep people entertained, places to go to where people can just hang out, and a feeling of safety. Those would probably be my sort of top 3 things of community as well. If you get that right, then people are more likely to, there could be offshoots of other ideas that come out of that where people are more inclined to help each other out or start up their own little interest groups and things. So
I think things happen in dense and urban spaces when the structure is kind of there. Like if I think about the Wynyard Quarter, something of a blank slate as old infrastructure gets taken out and new gets put in. There's some really nice areas down there. There's some nice little playgrounds just sort of dotted around. They're going to have the big Wynyard Point Park eventually, so a nice big open space. Whereas kind of back into the older parts of the city centre, we're kind of retrofitting really. We had that such a long period of where no new apartment buildings were being built. A lot of the old housing, which was pretty dire straits, got shifted out and not replaced by further housing, just kind of commercial buildings started to go in.